Hey guys, Julie here, reporting live from Jeju Island, South Korea. I am an English teacher here, and today I decided to dig through my classroom to find all of the student art supplies that I have here, and I thought, why not create a piece with it? That is what we'll be doing today. So this is footage of my office. I have some Korean textbooks that I haven't really been studying. And my Korean is not coming along, like at all. But I did sign up for classes, so those classes will start next month, and I'm hoping to really get cracking on it. I have some Jeju halabong pies here, which are absolutely delicious. They're like these shortbread cookies, scrumptious, amazing. And because I'll be spending so much time in this office, I decided to stock up on food in my fridge. So right now, students are on vacation, but I still have to come into the office to essentially sit at a desk and not do anything because it's kind of complicated. I can't actually lesson plan because I don't know what the school schedule will look like next term. I don't know what chapters I have to prep for. So everything is kind of up in the air right now. So I literally just come to school and I hang out in my little office. But I don't mind it. I actually find it quite peaceful. I spent a lot of time organizing all of the art supplies in my classroom. I did a full clean out. So I organized all of the crayons, all of the markers, and I actually spent some time digging through my classroom to look for some art supplies. So I found some paper, and I do believe this is watercolor paper. I've worked with some similar paper for one of the art camps that I taught, and I don't know if it's the same paper, but it feels similar. So I hope it is. I also found a ton of erasers for some reason, a full box of unused erasers, and then a box of used ones. And also, I found this container full of oil pastels. So I was very excited to find these. I thought they were crayons at first, and I was like, y'all, we already have enough crayons in this classroom. But nope, they're oil pastels. It looked like some kid left it behind because there was a name on it. So I'm just borrowing them. I also found these sketchbooks that were left behind. One of them actually had this really cool character drawing in it. So I think one day it would be fun to recreate it. So the first clip showing you the view out my window was taken about 5 minutes before this clip here. It just snowed out of nowhere and it was kind of exciting. I love the snow. I'm from Vancouver, so we do get a lot of snow in January, February, around this time. So I was very excited when I saw the snow. And Jeju Island is known for being incredibly windy. So you could see that the snow was it wasn't even falling straight down. It was going sideways. But it was really cool to watch. So the crayons here, they look very different to the crayons that we have back home. They look like the Crayola Twistables, and they also have a paper version where you actually pull this string and it rips off some of the paper and you unravel it to reveal more of the crayon. So they have two different versions. The paper one is obviously more environmentally friendly, so I much prefer those ones. But either way, I have them both in my classroom, so I'll just use both of them. We also have these permanent markers, and they were advertised in terms of the English translation, which can sometimes be off, but they were advertised as oil markers, but they looked and felt just like Sharpies. So I'm gonna assume that they're just regular alcohol ink Sharpie type markers because they are advertised to be completely waterproof. So that's what leads me to believe that. I'm just gonna assume the oil part was a translation error. We also had some just plain, skinny, cheap, water-based felts, and there were quite a few of those. Some of them were under the same brand, others were assorted, so I decided to just swatch all of them out regardless. This Monami name pen, Monami, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this name pen is from the same brand as the permanent markers, so that leads me to believe they might be permanent because they have the same design too. They just have a finer nib. And I have a ton of pencils because every time I finish teaching, I always find pencils, erasers, rulers all over the floor. So I just throw it in that communal bin So every time a kid needs a pencil, they could just grab one. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And if they lose a pencil, I could just point them to the bin and they could dig through it and find whichever pencil was theirs, but they normally don't miss them. So the first thing I swatched out were the crayons, and they were incredible. There was one purple one that was a little bit streaky, but for the most part, they were real smooth, and I was very surprised. Like, it's been a while since I've used crayons, but I don't remember them being that fine. I swatched out the black crayon, and you can see it like really covered the page, and it was so dark, so punchy, very satisfying. So I am incredibly impressed with these crayons. In class, even the older kids gravitate towards crayons. Colored pencils aren't really popular here, at least not with the elementary school that I teach at. So yeah, even the older kids gravitate towards these crayons, which I find very interesting because I think I started using colored pencils maybe when I was 10 onwards. I don't think I used crayons past the age of 9. So the fact that these kids who are, I think they're around 12 years old, I should probably know how old my students are, but age in Korea works a little bit differently. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think they might be around 12. Next, I tested the permanent markers, the Mon Ami permanent oil markers, and they work just like regular Sharpies as expected. I attempted to blend two colors together. I wanted to do blue and yellow and kind of get a green in the middle like you would with brush nibbed alcohol markers, but as you can see, this was a total fail. It's been a long time since I've worked with alcohol markers, so it could be that I'm a little bit rusty with it and maybe I picked the wrong colors to use. The water-based skinny markers worked as expected. They were just, plain, simple, regular water-based markers, nothing really to report there. Oil pastels are something that I don't really work with. It did seem like it was quite an old set because it looked like there was some blooming on the oil pastels, but it didn't affect how well they worked. They were quite smooth, soft as butter, as you would expect. And honestly, I thought the crayons were like smooth as heck, but after working with the oil pastels, those are like next level. I think I want to try playing around with them and actually creating a piece with oil pastels. It's something that I've never done, and I've never even thought about doing it. So who knows, that might be something on my list. I even tried layering the white oil pastel on top of the other colors, but it didn't really work out as well as I hoped it would. It kind of blended together, which honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the point of oil pastels. You're supposed to blend them. But I just use them as straight color because I am a total amateur. One day I'll get the hang of it, but in this video, I just kept it simple. These are children art supplies. They're definitely not my go-tos. Felts, crayons, and oil pastels are three things that I never create art with. So this proved to be a challenge, on top of the fact that I haven't created a character sketch in months and so long. Being a teacher here in South Korea, it's a very new experience for me. So I was very serious about my job. I put in so much energy into my lesson planning. I wanted to make sure the kids learned and that they had fun this semester. So it really sucked the life out of me. And I know that sounds like such a negative thing, but I was just exhausted for the entire term. I was teaching in 4 different schools, and my furthest school was a 2-hour commute away, and that's one way. So it was just exhausting. Now that the semester's over and I'm just desk warming, essentially, I feel totally rejuvenated. I have so much of that energy back, and I just feel like I am ready to be creative again. So I'm very excited to start really diving into my art because I miss it. I really miss it. And I'll save this topic for another video about how sometimes full-time work gets in the way of your art development. It stumps your creativity. I think this is a really important topic that no one really discusses, or at least I haven't really heard too much about it. So I want to dive into that, but we will save that topic for later. Since I'm here in Korea, I really want to incorporate little bits of my life here into my videos. So I decided to film my little lunch snack. I actually cooked a meal the day before. It was sitting in my fridge and I totally forgot to bring it with me to work. So I had to pick up something along the way. I went into the closest 7-Eleven and I grabbed one of these like rice triangle things. I don't know what they're called. I should probably look up the name. But they're all over Korea, just a convenient corner store snack. I don't even know what flavor this was. I just picked the first one on the shelf and I went off. So you're supposed to peel the plastic in a specific way so that the entire thing holds together. But clearly I can't even do that right. So it fell apart on me. I spilled a little bit on the floor. I cleaned it up, of course. Overall, it was very yummy. Yeah, it was a good snack. A little bit messy, but that's on me. I also have been obsessed with these Jeju halabong pies. So they kind of taste like a shortbread cookie with some filling inside. And Jeju halabong tangerines are a specific type of tangerines that I think they are native to Jeju, or they're really popular in Jeju. Not sure. But they're in a lot of different tourist foods, a lot of teas that you can get here in Jeju, or like halabong teas. So it's a very popular species of tangerine. And these pies, there are so many different brands of them. They sell them all over the tourist shops and they are delicious. I have been absolutely obsessed with these. If you could find them anywhere, then please order them, try them. Delicious, amazing. So I decided, since I'm here in Korea, I'm talking a little bit about my life in Korea. I wanted to create an art piece that represents something related to Korean culture. So I decided to draw a woman dressed in a hanbok, which is the traditional Korean clothing. So I found a reference photo, and the first photo I found, I actually sketched something completely different, but then I found this reference photo and this woman just looked so fierce. I loved her hair. I loved all the fun colors. I really wanted to paint something bright and vibrant because a lot of the colors of the supplies were really bright, fun colors. So instead of going with that first sketch, which was officially my first character sketch that I've created in like the past, I want to say like 4 months. My God, it's been so long. Oh, that one was a little bit rusty just because it was sort of a warm-up. The anatomy was a little bit off. So the second drawing was a lot more proportional. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go with this one. I used a black fine nib marker to go over my line work. It was a water-based marker and not the regular fine liner that I'm used to working with. And the nib was not as small as I was used to. So that was something that took a little bit of getting used to. I'm not familiar with working with crayons or oil pastels, so I kind of just went in it with the straight colors. I didn't really do too much. I tried to do a little bit of shading with the blue crayon and also with the oil pastels. With the pastels, I didn't work with blending at all because, again, I have no idea how to work with them. At first, I colored the bottom half of the woman's hanbok using a red crayon, but I decided that a nice warm purple would work a little bit better. Also, I realized that I didn't even touch the oil pastel, so I decided to use an oil pastel in the piece because the challenge is to work with all the supplies I found in my classroom. So I went over the skirt with the oil pastel and it completely covered the red. It also covered the blue shadows, so I had to add new shadows in on top using another oil pastel. Overall, the bottom half of her dress looks super wonky. I clearly had no idea what I was doing, but it was still fun to play around with. And I actually cut this piece out and I put it into my Canson Mixed Media sketchbook. So I have a piece of my school with me always. The paper itself was perfect actually for the crayons and for the oil pastel. It was smooth, but it did have a little bit of tooth. So it was great, it handled really well. Overall, this was so much fun. It was really nice to hunt around my classroom for these art supplies. I went into the classroom next door and I did actually find some watercolors, but I don't think I'm gonna do any more filming at school because I was paranoid that my principal would walk in. That's why midway through the video, I took my camera and I put it on the ground because I thought I heard someone coming. So I don't think it's worth any of the stress. Also, it is kind of disrespectful to be filming during what is essentially work time, even though there's no work to be done. So this is the first and last art video that I will be filming during school time. If you have any questions about life in Korea, life as an English teacher here, any questions about the art or the school supplies, then feel free to comment down below. I read every single comment and I really do appreciate just having some conversation with you guys. If you enjoy watching this video, you'll definitely enjoy one of my near future videos. It's currently in post-production, so I'm working on it. I actually bought a ton of art supplies from Daiso here in South Korea, which is like next level. Like y'all, if y'all love Daiso in the States or in Canada, you haven't seen nothing yet. Daiso in Korea, incredible. And so many fun art supplies to play with. So I have a haul, I filmed it, I'm currently editing it. That might be the next video or the one after, I'm not sure, but I will figure it all out. Just stay tuned. Subscribe if you're interested in more Korea/art type videos. Like this video, share it, do your thing. Please and thank you. And that is all I have for you today. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Stay creative, stay adventurous. Peace.